You open Instagram at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. Your college roommate just bought a house. Your high school friend got promoted to director. Your cousin's engaged. Your co-worker's on vacation in Bali. Again. And you're sitting in your apartment that you can barely afford, eating cereal for dinner, wondering where you went wrong. Because everyone else seems to have it figured out. Everyone else is hitting milestones, moving forward, winning. And you? You're still trying to get your shit together. Still figuring out what you even want. Still dealing with the same problems you had 3 years ago. You feel stuck, behind, like you missed the memo on how to adult successfully, and now you're permanently off track while everyone else speeds past you. And the worst part, you can't stop watching. You can't stop scrolling through their wins and feeling like your life is getting smaller with every post. Comparison isn't just making you feel bad. It's stealing your ability to see your own progress, your own wins, your own worth, and it's time to stop letting it. Let's talk about what you're actually seeing when you scroll. You're not seeing their real life. You're seeing their highlight reel. The edited, filtered, carefully curated version they want you to see. You're seeing the new house. You're not seeing the debt, the family money that helped with the down payment, the relationship that's falling apart inside those pretty walls. You're seeing the promotion. You're not seeing the burnout, the 60-hour weeks, the panic attacks in the bathroom at work, the cost of climbing that ladder. You're seeing the engagement ring. You're not seeing the fights, the compromises they're not sure they should be making, the doubts they're too scared to voice. You're seeing Bali. You're not seeing the credit card bill, the job they hate that paid for it, the fact that they're miserable 50 weeks a year to have 2 weeks of content. Nobody posts their pain. Nobody shares the hard parts, the failures, the fear, the moments they're drowning. They post the wins, the milestones, the proof that they're doing it right. And you compare their carefully selected highlights to your entire unfiltered reality. The good, the bad, the mundane, the messy, the uncertain, the scary. That's not a fair comparison. That's comparing their public performance to your private struggle. And, of course, you lose. But here's what nobody tells you. They're doing the same thing. They're scrolling through your posts and feeling behind too. They're looking at your life and seeing the things they don't have, the things they wish they had. Because the grass always looks greener when you're only seeing it through filters. Comparison doesn't motivate you. It paralyzes you. When you see everyone else winning and you feel like you're losing, you don't suddenly get inspired to do better. You get defeated. You get overwhelmed. You get stuck. Because if everyone else is so far ahead, what's the point? You'll never catch up. You've already lost. So you stop trying. Or you keep trying but you're miserable the whole time because nothing you do ever feels like enough. You hit a goal and instead of celebrating, you immediately look around to see who's done more. You got a raise? Cool. Your friend got a bigger one. You finished a project? Nice. Someone else finished 3. You're proud of something? Well, someone else did it faster, better, with less effort. Comparison steals your joy every single time. And it steals something else too, your ability to know what you actually want. When you're constantly looking at what everyone else has, you stop asking yourself what you want. You start chasing their goals, their milestones, their definition of success. You want the house because they have a house, not because you actually want a house. Maybe you'd be happier renting and traveling, but you can't even consider that because the measuring stick says house equals success. You want the promotion because they got promoted, not because you actually want more responsibility. Maybe you'd be happier with more time and less stress. But you can't admit that because the measuring stick says promotion equals winning. You're living someone else's life in your head, chasing someone else's dreams, measuring yourself against someone else's timeline. And in the process, you're completely losing track of who you are, what you value, what brings you peace. Comparison doesn't just make you feel bad. It disconnects you from yourself. And that disconnection, that's the real cost. Here's what I need you to hear. You are not behind. You are not late. You haven't missed anything. You haven't failed. You're not doing it wrong. You're on your timeline. And your timeline is different from theirs, from everyone's. Some people get married at 22, some at 42, some never. And all of those are okay. Some people buy houses at 25, some at 55. Some rent their whole lives by choice, and all of those are okay. Some people have kids in their 20s, some in their 40s, some don't have kids, and all of those are okay. Some people climb the corporate ladder, some freelance, some work jobs they tolerate to fund lives they love, some build businesses, some prioritize time over money, and all of those are okay. There is no universal timeline. There is no should be here by this age rule that actually matters. The only timeline that matters is yours, the one where you're making decisions based on what you actually want, need, and value, not what Instagram says you should want. And your timeline includes the hard stuff, the detours, the setbacks, the times you had to start over, the years you spent figuring out what you didn't want so you could get closer to what you do. That's not wasted time. That's your life. That's your story. And it's not less valuable just because it doesn't look like theirs. You've been through things they haven't. You've learned things they haven't. You've survived things they haven't. You're building something they can't see yet because you're still in the messy middle and they're only posting the finished product. Your pace is your pace. Your path is your path. And comparison to someone else's journey is pointless because you're not going to the same place. Okay, practical time. Because knowing comparison is toxic and actually stopping it are two different things. Step 1. Curate your feed ruthlessly. If seeing someone's posts makes you feel bad about yourself, unfollow, mute, block. I don't care if it's your best friend from high school. Your mental health is more important than appearing supportive on social media. This doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you're protecting your peace. And if they're actually your friend, they'll understand. And if they don't, they're not your friend. Fill your feed with people who inspire you without making you feel inadequate. People who share the messy parts. People who feel real. Step 2. Set boundaries with your scrolling. You don't need to check Instagram 47 times a day. You don't need to watch everyone's stories. You don't need to deep dive into the lives of people you barely know. Set time limits. Use app blockers. Delete social media apps from your phone for a week and see what happens. Notice when you reach for your phone. Is it boredom, anxiety, avoidance? What are you actually looking for? Because it's not on Instagram. Step 3. Celebrate your wins out loud. Start noticing what you're accomplishing, and I mean everything, not just the Instagram-worthy stuff. You showed up to work even though you were exhausted. That's a win. You made it through a hard week without falling apart. That's a win. You tried something new even though it scared you. That's a win. Write them down. Tell a friend. Acknowledge them to yourself. Stop waiting for someone else to validate your progress. Step 4. Ask yourself what you actually want. Not what you think you should want, not what everyone else has. What do you actually want? If you could build a life that no one else would see or know about, what would it look like? What would bring you peace, joy, meaning? Start there. Build toward that, not toward what looks good in photos. Step 5. Remember that everyone's struggling. The people who look like they have it all together, they're struggling too. They're scared too. They're figuring it out too. The difference is, they're not posting it. And when you catch yourself spiraling into comparison, remind yourself, I'm comparing my behind the scenes to their highlight reel. That's not real. Let me tell you what actually happens when you stop measuring yourself against everyone else. First, you get your joy back. The small wins feel like wins again. The progress you're making becomes visible instead of invisible. You can be proud without immediately looking over your shoulder to see who did it better. Second, you figure out what you actually want. When you stop chasing their goals, you have space to figure out yours. And they might be completely different. And that's not just okay, that's the point. Third, your anxiety decreases because you're not constantly in competition. You're not constantly losing. You're just living your life at your pace. Fourth, your relationships get better. When you stop seeing everyone as ahead of you, you can actually be happy for them. You can celebrate their wins without feeling like their success means your failure. And fifth, this is the one that surprised me, you start moving forward. Because you're not paralyzed anymore. You're not stuck comparing. You're just taking the next small step, and then the next, and then the next. Not because you're trying to catch up, not because you're trying to prove something, just because it's your next step on your timeline. And that's freedom. What's one win you never celebrated because it felt too small, or because someone else had a bigger one, or because you were too busy looking at what you hadn't done yet? Type it in the comments right now. Without comparing it to anyone else's win. Did you survive a hard year? Did you leave something toxic? Did you start therapy? Did you pay off debt? Did you make it through a week without a panic attack? Did you try something new? Did you show up when it would have been easier to hide? Say it, claim it, celebrate it. Because your wins matter, your progress matters, your timeline matters, and you've done more than you realize. You've just been too busy comparing yourself to everyone else to notice. Stop looking at their highlight reel. Start honoring your real life, every messy, imperfect, hard-won page of it. And if you need weekly reminders that you're not behind, that your pace is perfect, and that comparison is a trap you're allowed to walk away from, subscribe. We're learning to celebrate our own lives instead of envying everyone else's. Your story matters. Every page. Take your next step, not for them, for you.